What up, Ho Biscuits? It's your girl Skitten, back at it again. And I'm here with my husband. You look amazing. Go ahead.
My sister had a baby.
His sister did.
We were having the baby.
Yes, yes.
Now we have had the baby.
Yes.
I didn't do anything.
Right.
Wasn't involved in any way.
Right.
Didn't have it. Didn't support the baby having. You know, not doing anything. I didn't show up.
We supported.
I didn't go around. COVID. You couldn't do it. A single thing.
We were supportive.
I read the text messages, sent some text messages, posted and updated people.
Yeah.
Easily my best work as an uncle.
I offered to bring. I offered to bring my sister-in-law a margarita to, you know, the delivery room.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, you can't do that. That's illegal.
Fuck the law.
So...
It's my piece. I do what I want. They're like Malibu's most wanted in here. Fucking margaritas and sangrias everywhere.
But yeah, no, it's super exciting.
Yeah.
It was a great text to get.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely a text we should not have been awake to get, and yet were.
Yeah, exactly. Very ungodly hours. We were like, yeah, I was ready for this. This is exactly
hello.
what I'm awake.
They were definitely not expecting text back. It was in a group chat. We definitely woke everybody up. Oh my god!
Get up! And then I text like I talk. So I go, oh great, love the baby. Cute picture. Each individual message just buzzing each other.
How are you? How's the baby? How's mama?
Exactly.
What's the plan?
That is what happens. Yeah, it is. So yeah, we've been excited.
And then like as everyone woke up, they all just started asking the same exact questions.
Talking about it all day long.
So
yes.
No, but it was great. It's very exciting. I have a new nibbling. It's wonderful.
Cheesecake.
So
baby. Yes.
I am very excited. I have been waiting for weeks and weeks to do this video with you. Literally.
Weeks. Is it about booty? Like butts. Like a big twerk compilation. New York City twerk team, and like busting it down and coming out like parachute stuff. Twerking down from like skydiving. That'd be hard. We should do that for like our wedding anniversary.
So it's not that.
Okay. Is it close?
No.
Fair enough.
So the title of this video is what a samurai versus Mongol battle really look like.
That's cool.
Right?
Yeah, that's cool.
So I've had this.
Tsushima shit.
Yes. So I've had this in my watch playlist, like my watch later, for a long time. I kept moving it and moving it. I was gonna shoot it by myself, and I kept restarting the intro, and I could not figure out why.
Yeah.
Like in my brain just wasn't computing. And then I was like, I wonder if I still have the clip, like the video, where I say, Chavezz should be in this. He should be here. I gotta go.
That's cute. Good life stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
So
let's do it.
I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are staying safe and sanitized.
I hope you're not.
I hope you guys enjoyed your holiday.
Yes.
Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started.
I love it. I like this already.
The islanders of Tsushima noticed them first. The dark figures cutting across the Pacific horizon one evening in 1274. Local governor So Sukakuni knows what's coming. He rallies 80 mounted samurai and leads them through the mountains toward the beach. The invasion fleet lurches forward. The samurai look outnumbered. 6 years ago, the Mongol ruler Kublai Khan, grandson of Genghis Khan, sent a letter to Japan's Kamakura government. Innumerable people in far-off lands have learned to fear our power and have longed for our virtuous rule. Moreover, the sages consider the entire universe one family. Therefore, if we should not establish friendly relations with each other, how could it be in accordance with the doctrine of one family? Who would care to appeal to arms?
Very eloquent,
It's
sir.
seemingly an offer to peacefully submit to Kublai Khan and become subjects of the Mongols. Yet to reject his proposal is to flirt with apocalypse, Holocaust. These sublime cities of the Islamic world, the opulent kingdoms of Russia, mighty domain of Imperial China, have been defiled, burned, gutted. Millions of men, women, and children butchered by the Mongols. For unknown reasons, Kublai Khan has decided that Japan should now bend the knee to his empire. Japan's government responds by ignoring his letter.
It's what they do, yeah.
So Sukakuni is first to suffer the consequences. At dawn, 1,000 Mongols charge the beach.
Jesus.
Samurai are masters of the blade, but they are first and foremost horse archers. The Japanese fight in small, disparate bands of samurai warriors and their followers. They prefer to pick off individual targets at range. This initially works against the Mongols, and Tsushima's defenders cut down many of the oncoming invaders.
Smart.
But Mongol tactics are foreign and overwhelming.
Exactly.
Mongol domination has come on the backs of battle-worn nomads trained in horse archery since childhood. They launch synchronized charges in units, raining mass volleys of arrows down on clumps of enemies. When the exhausted enemy herds begin to thin, they charge the gaps and look to finish the battle with axes and swords. Here, the samurai's mastery of both grappling on horseback and unmounted sword warfare becomes crucial. In the melee, one samurai shatters his sword, and a shower of Mongol arrows kill him. The defenders of Tsushima are outnumbered. The bodies of Sukakuni and his followers are left on the beach, and by midday, the Mongol invasion of Tsushima is unstoppable.
Wow.
Local buildings are burned, inhabitants slaughtered.
Wow.
The Mongols do the same to the island of Iki before advancing toward the mainland. The fleet comes into view and drops anchor, revealing the Mongol flair for psychological warfare. Their bows are adorned with female islanders dangling from a rope strung through their palms.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
An onslaught of Mongol horse archers charge the beach to the tune of signals from gongs and drums. They launch ear-splitting gunpowder bombs, sending Japanese horses staggering backward. Then they swing hooks and other weapons to rip the Japanese from their mounts.
Oh, fuck.
The Mongols generally navigate the battlefield wearing versatile light armor and carrying personal shields, while the more heavily armored samurai only use shields as stationary protective walls for their archers.
Got it. Okay.
The samurai are relentless sharpshooters. Their counterattacks force some of the Mongols to retreat and regroup. One samurai, Takazaki Suenaga, is eager to make a name for himself. Japanese warriors are compensated by the shogunate government only when they can offer proof of their own exceptional deeds. Proof which often takes the form of eyewitness accounts or enemy heads. Suenaga has tracked the retreating Mongols to an encampment. One of his followers warns him not to charge, to wait for reinforcements.
Exactly. Don't be
But
dumb.
Suenaga answers, "The way of the bow and arrow is to do what is worthy of reward. Charge!"
Yeah.
The Mongols let fly a volley of arrows, wounding Suenaga and his 3 retainers.
Right.
Suenaga presses on until an arrow drills into his horse and he's thrown to the ground, helpless.
Oh my God.
Suddenly, a charge of reinforcements storms forward, saving his life.
What?
The Mongol
That's
counterattack
so good.
is brutal. The Japanese scatter and retreat inland, while the invaders lay waste to many of the homes and shrines along the coast.
Pillaging everything.
And then, they leave. There appears to have been a storm prior to their departure. Some accounts claimed it wrecked much of the Mongol fleet, while others state it was simply a fortuitous wind that gave the demoralized Mongol fleet the opportunity to sail back to Korea.
Which is also the finale of the Ghost of Tsushima game.
Really?
Yeah, the ends where they said, "Oh, there's a storm incoming." They were like, there's a lot of accounts too of them talking about like the bird patterns when the big storms are coming in, because obviously they live in islands, so they know.
So they would know.
And they staged like an attack during that time in the game. Don't know how accurate that part is, but
Right.
it does lead to a Mongol retreat at the end too.
Smart.
Yeah.
I was wondering.
Yep.
So they're like archers, right?
Yes.
They're supposed to be like really good archers.
Which side? Both?
I mean, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
But like, how good, right? Because I definitely feel like you should have set these boats on fire with flaming arrows.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things where it's always like a good idea in theory, but you know, when you're fighting, in this case, horse archer versus horse archer, you know, or people landing, they didn't have technology to stop a siege of boats from landing on sand at the time.
Right, fire arrows.
Yeah, so if I'm in range to shoot you, you're in range to shoot me. You know, so that
But you're probably not expecting me to shoot you with fire arrows.
was also not how a lot of samurai did battle too. You know, you show up to fight and then we're fighting.
Y'all should have burnt these niggas.
You know, I just think it's super weird. You know, you live on an island, you know, with most of the fighting being infighting.
Right.
And if you're going to go kill somebody, you're leaving.
Absolutely.
To go mess with like China or Korea or somebody
Right.
like that.
They're not attacking you on your home turf usually.
And not in the numbers of the Mongols show.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, imagine how cool it would have been. They're like rowing. They're like rowing inland, right? They're about to land, and then
it would have been very nice. Yeah. They wish they would have invented catapults.
Exactly.
With, but I mean, that just takes insight that they wouldn't have had.
I'm just saying that's what I would have done because I'm built different.
I love that you said that because, without the ironic tinge, there's a lot of people who have thoughts like that.
Right.
But I want to remind people, too, that are watching this still in before we get back into it. It's very healthy to imagine ways you would have started defending this.
Absolutely.
To understand the battle. Like, getting yourself into it is the easiest way to understand the technology they had available, that gets you into it.
Yeah.
What were the troops like? What were the deployments like? We don't know what battle specifically there is. But I'm telling you right now, they didn't build places to be safe while shooting off catapults or flaming arrows or places into the sea. That just doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is a fishing town. There are boats here so we could fish. Then the Mongols show up, start killing people. That's what happened.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Lacked the manpower to occupy southern Japan. Whatever the case, the Mongols are gone. For Japan, it's now time to grieve and rebuild. It's the following year that Mongol emissaries arrive in Japan, reiterating Kublai Khan's request to submit to Mongol rule. Hojo Tokamune, the de facto ruler of Japan, has been beheaded. Later emissaries suffer the same fate. Tokamune knows the Mongols won't forget this. He constructs 12 miles of high stone walls on the coast of Japan. Another vital part of Japanese defense is prayer. The emperor, still an important religious figure in Japan, orders shrines to pray for peace and curse the Mongols.
So one of the most important things of history, as you see there, is what happened after the Mongols first attacked. They prepared for the wartime, like coming from the sea.
Exactly.
Which is something they had never done before. So that's why I was excited that you brought that up. Like, that's what I would have. They thought the exact same. They thought, how come we didn't think to attack them?
Exactly.
Excellent. But anyways, we'll continue. I just thought that was so cool that you were...
Yet the Mongol Empire only grows in power. They've crushed the last of China's southern Song dynasty, absorbed its mighty navy, and constructed a massive new fleet. In the years since the invasion, Kublai Khan has had time to orchestrate the downfall of Japan.
And when you look at this is not a lot of fucking space. It is not going to take them long to traverse this at all. It's very different from when the fucking, the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria, right? They came to America. Very different.
Exactly. Tsushima is so close to Korea on the bottom, to the south. You can see it on a clear day.
That's what I was thinking. It wasn't, but I figured they might not be coming from down here.
It's
they might be
so
coming from somewhere else. But I'm just saying, even at the widest part, it's not gonna take them long.
Right.
They could stop and take breaks and still be there.
Absolutely.
So Japan does not have a long time to prepare.
And it's super important for Japan to hold the coast because if they can set up any kind of base to wait for reinforcements or wait for resupply,
it's over. It's done.
It's going to be over.
It's
absolutely.
over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Play.
In 1281, a Mongol fleet arrives on Tsushima. Defending samurai are crushed, villagers run to the mountains, but the Mongols follow the cries of fleeing children and hunt them down. They again occupy Iki and attack the mainland. But this time, the guarded coastal walls prevent the Mongols from establishing a position on land. The Mongol fleet is forced to float ominously in the bay, planning island raids. The samurai sense vulnerability. They take sandbars and small boats out to the Mongol ships, clamber aboard, and fight.
Wow.
One called Kawano Michiari takes 5 followers and bounds over choppy seas in 2 small boats. As they near a Mongol vessel, an enemy archer kills his uncle. 2 more arrows carve into Michiari's shoulder and left arm as he climbs aboard. He ignores the wounds, unsheathes his sword, kills a large Mongol, and captures an officer. Takazaki Suenaga is also eager to join the fray. He squeezes onto an outgoing Japanese boat, storms a Mongol ship, and attacks the crew. The Mongols are bleeding supplies, but in midsummer the momentum seems to shift. Their massive southern fleet from the newly conquered southern China reaches Japan.
Oh, no.
The invading army is now 3 times as large as it was in the previous invasion. A tight battle at Takashima Island forces a Japanese retreat. Then, the skies blacken. Sails flutter, waves swell. A typhoon overtakes the bay, devouring hundreds of Mongol ships. Soldiers are thrown overboard, vessels dashed against the rocks. The surviving Mongol ships cut anchor and abandon the invasion.
I would dip too. The hell?
Yeah.
The next day, thousands of Mongols, dead and alive, wash up on Japanese beaches and float by on driftwood. One straggler, Chang, has been stranded on an island for 3 days without food. He and other survivors plan to cut down trees, build ships, and sail home.
How does that work out for you?
But they're captured by Japanese who are surveying the area.
Yeah.
Uninterested in forgiveness, the Japanese execute every Mongol, Korean, and northern Chinese they find.
I support that.
They view the southern Chinese as old allies of Japan, only recently forced under Mongol control. They spared the lives of the newly submitted, saying that they were people of the Tang dynasty, and made them slaves instead.
Oh.
I, Chang, was one of them.
Oh no.
The invasion is over. Takazaki Suenaga, now in his mid-30s, will have his exploits documented in scrolls and will present testimonies and Mongol heads to receive rewards from the government. Samurai like Kawano Michiari will be honored as heroes. Kublai Khan and the Mongol Empire had famously laid claim to the entire universe, yet for the final time they've tried, and failed, to claim Japan.
Just leave them alone. That was really cool. That was really fun.
But again, they always bring it up. So you talked about building the, kind of like building defenses or something like that. But you said set them on fire, burn them up.
Set them on fire.
Right? But think about it this way. One thing very important to warfare at the time is a navy. So important to have a navy. How long does it take to build a boat?
Right.
It takes a long time, a lot of people, and we're in war. So how important is it to lose a boat? Very important.
Yeah.
And one thing about Navy warfare at the time is they will steal your shit. Piracy is so important.
Yeah.
And these samurai are just families at this time. The government is not centralized or unionized at all. We're not together. It's not a union. We're people fighting for money, and we have a war chief or whatever, insert thing just so it kind of covers wherever we're at. But yeah, just steal their stuff. Yeah. Kidnap their people. Sick, dude. Thanks for showing me this. It's awesome.
I am a master of if you go low, I go to hell. So you know what? I might not have a name. I might lose this whole shit, but you know what? You're gonna be burnt the fuck up.
Skittin' hell lady, scourge of the seas.
Bro,
3 friendlies were set on fire when Skittin' was attacked.
I would be a terrible leader of any kind of country.
Why don't we go to the South Port? It's right there. They set people on fire there. We got to go somewhere else. Yeah, she crazy as hell. We got to go anywhere else. There's mines in the water. They made mines. I don't understand why they went through time to do it. It took them forever.
But no, this was super interesting, super fascinating. I always think that East Asian history is interesting. I would love to get into some South Asian history though. I would love to see that, India, Indonesia, all that.
I don't know anything about that. So don't
Me either. I know absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
But I just, I like to know everything, and then I forget everything. It's great.
There's a 35-minute video about how the Mongols won the war in China. Super interesting.
We should definitely do that.
All right.
I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave your reaction requests and recommendations down in the comments below. Thank you so much, husband, for finally doing this with me. I've been waiting and waiting. I had such a good time.
Thank you for letting me be here for this because I really enjoyed this. He has such a smooth voice too. He's talking
this video was so well put together. I loved this.
He started writing this. Oh, you're not gonna let me work at Discovery Channel? Fuck yeah, I know all this shit anyway.
Oh, this wasn't good enough for History Channel. They just want another episode of Ice Road Truckers.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, that was hard.
But no, this was great. I'm glad that we watched this instead of American Pickers. And other than that, peace out, Ho Biscuits. It's Skittin' lit. Only one eye closed when I did that, just so you know.
Okay, this is not what I saw.